Hello and welcome to another Tales from a Professional Nerd. My name is Bryan C.P. Steele and I will be your nerd today and every other day that you watch one of my silly little shows. So, let's look at the week in Bryan. Well, I finished recording my first audiobook. That's right, folks. I am recording audiobooks for a company. I don't know if I can actually say what they are yet, but I will say this: it was a lot of fun getting to do a bunch of character voices and things in the audiobook. And from what I have been told is that another voice actress will be joining me in that project to do the feminine voices. So I'm really excited to see what the end result will be. It'll be I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very cool. Let's see what else. I've been doing a lot of editing of short stories lately. I have been doing honestly just a lot of recording, a lot of editing, and a little bit of painting. I'm gearing up. I know I've got some pretty big projects coming up very, very soon. So kind of, this sort of end of year, welcome to December. The next couple weeks will probably be a little lower key, but I know that toward the end of December and then into January, I'm going to be ramping up pretty hard. So professionally, I'm very happy, and I look forward to doing more of the same. These are all good things. Had a very cool meeting earlier this week about my next Essence 20 source book. So things are getting close to coming together on that. Had an amazing meeting with the head of fiction over at Catalyst Game Labs to talk about my next Shadowrun novel. We're waiting on a few things to cement into place as to whether or not I can use those assets. But if I can, it's still gonna be a great story, but I think if I can, it's gonna take it from a fun read to like necessary Shadowrun reading. We'll see how it goes. Let's see, what else? That's pretty much it professionally. Had official Thanksgiving last week. That was fun. Get to spend time with the family, eat some food, that kind of thing. Celebrated my nephew's birthday. Here in a couple days, we celebrate my son's 14th birthday. He's 14. It's crazy. I'm old. And then shortly thereafter, we will actually be celebrating my wife's 40th birthday, but more on that next week. We're going to talk about that in next week's show. But yeah, so I think it's just, work-wise, personality-wise, it's starting to get kind of cold here in Indiana, so that's why I've got the stocking cap on. Not to mention also because of today's, topic. But winter comes with a price tag here in Indiana, and that price tag is having to keep the heat on and having to dress warm. So please head on over out to Dork when you go to buy their cool new stuff and throw one of their stocking caps in your bag. You should. Yeah. So gaming wise, got to play in my very rare D&D game, my friend's homebrew game. His world is called Menhiriath, and we've been playing a long time, but we play very sporadically, and that is where I'm playing a halfling monk of his god of the road, his god of travel and adventure, who is also almost very Dionysus feeling, which is why I'm a drunken fist monk. But it's super fun. We stormed a keep full of gnolls, like a kind of not a keep, like a ruined keep full of gnolls, and we did a real good job. I came pretty close to getting conked out, and our paladin got knocked out a couple of times. But it was a solid game. We had a good time. and then at the very end, he left us with a cliffhanger in that one of our kind of esteemed rangers, one of the kind of narrative go-tos, has been bitten by what turned out to be kind of like a were hyena, like a gnoll hybrid monster thing. And there is some question as to whether or not he may have been infected. So he was taken into custody to be tested. So we'll see. I know it's going to be probably the new year by the time we actually get a chance to play again. But I'm excited to see where that goes. Let's see what else. I played in, but when this comes out, it'll be last night. Got to play in another live stream of the Godfall D&D game, where I play my Goblin Pirate. I'm almost positive that it's going to be a good time. Our characters, we've only played like one other real time before, and our characters are still kind of getting used to each other and figuring out, who does what in the group. So who knows? It could be a complete, chaotic mess. I have no idea. Yeah, and then let's see what else. I know there was something else I wanted to say. Oh yeah, this is I mentioned earlier. This is the first of December, first episode of December, which means, drum roll please, that we needed to draw a name out of the comment raffle from all of the episodes of November, and I have that right here from episode 168. A Mr. Justin Cutteruff, I hope I pronounced your name right. Your comment is the one that popped up in the random generator. So when this video goes live, I will go on to episode 168 and I'll leave a note that says, hey, get in touch with me, you won stuff. Now, I mentioned that this particular episode is going to have an extra special comment raffle. And it is definitely extra special, Justin. It's going to be awesome. But this thus begins, as this is the first episode of December, in a way to celebrate the holidays, in a way to celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or Festivus or whatever you do this time of year. The comment raffle for this month, for the December comment raffle, you are going to want to get in. You are going to want to get your friends in. You are going to want to share, subscribe, hit the little button. You're going to want to start conversations, because this is probably going to be my biggest raffle winner yet, if that makes any sense, both in size and value, I suppose. It's going to be tons of fun, and I love putting smiles. I sent out one of the ones, I think it was October maybe, and I got an email back from them, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, there's so much in this raffle prize." Well, I can do that because I have sponsors that hook me up with things. I have people that have sent me samples and things like that. That, if I'm not going to do anything with it, I hope that you guys can, and so it becomes part of the comment raffles. This month, this Christmas comment raffle is going to be the same. I want to show my generosity to you guys, or I want to show some generosity as my gratitude to you guys, as being viewers and talkers and part of the conversation. I'm over the moon, and I love you guys. Speaking of if you are also feeling generous from your perspective and you want to do something for the show, there is a link in the description of the video it goes to the show's Amazon wish list, which you should be able to just click on something and it should automatically come to our address. I believe. I'm not 100% sure. I have not bought anything off of my own wish list. When I do my anything that I receive from fans from now until the Christmas episode, I'm actually going to save. So anything that you, if anybody decides to send anything to the show as a gift or whatever, I'm going to set that off to the side, and it's going to be part of the actual December show. So kudos to that. And kudos to Justin Cutteriff for winning this month's raffle, or I guess November's raffle. I'm trying to think of anything else in the weekend, Brian. Anything else that's special? I know tomorrow. Well, I guess the night this comes out, I'm running my Knotted Wheel D&D campaign, which is the very heavily graphic and painted models and terrain and lots of maps and things down in Indianapolis. I am psyched for this session. Not only because it's been far too long, we've had too many cancellations on things in the past to get this session played, but I am pretty sure this is going to be their first real, like, you know, they've been through some combats, they've been through some tough stuff, they've been through some things where, you know, oh, someone got knocked out. I think this might be the first time that they really honestly kind of fear for their characters' lives. This is going to be a good kind of boss fight for this chapter. And then after this chapter, they get to move on to a new setting, a new artifact, and new awesomeness. So, awesome. I'm very happy. Yeah, I think that's it, to my knowledge. A lot of my friends and colleagues are at PAX Unplugged this upcoming weekend. I could not make it. I had too much work, and it ends up being, conventions end up being kind of an expensive thing for me if I have to go on my own dime. So I have a little bit of FOMO, a little fear of missing out of what's going to be happening at PAX U this weekend. I'm going to be watching a lot of, you know, pictures and comments and Facebook stories and stuff of people that are having fun there. But overall, I'm just excited that the game industry has continued to thrive to the point where there are all these conventions all the time. So big thanks to all of the gamers and all of the moving parts within and around the gaming industry. Speaking of which, one of my sponsors, the fabulous people at Dork, makers of some of the best metallic and transformative hues, kind of color-changing paints, period, have started advertising a new product on their Facebook and on their websites, and I know I've shared it, and I'm letting you know, which there will be a link to their shop. There's already a Dork link to get a discount for being a Tales from Professional Nerd subscriber, but we're probably going to put in an extra link that shows specifically, or maybe we'll look at, you know what? We have the power. We have the ability. Why don't we find out if my link can take you to the thing? Hopefully it can. Let's do that. Let's find out. Going to Turbo, going to their website, takes you right there. You can that's fantastic. You can absolutely add it to the thing. So never mind. You don't need a special. You just need to click on the right object. Very cool. All right. So a few weeks ago, they showed off this cool new paint palette that they were creating. And so I reached out to Greg over at Dork and was like, hey, what do I have to do to get one of these to show people, to show my amazing clientele, my subscribers, and everybody who listened to me, how do I show them how cool this is? And he said, hang on one second, and sent me two versions. So the one that they've been picturing a lot of, it's covered in tissue paper, which is kind of weird, but what you're hearing is me unwrapping it. There's two versions, and the two versions come in different colors. They come in white and black. This is what the original, this is what the big palette itself, the Dork silicone palette, what it looks like. So it's got these deep wells. It's made of silicone rubber. So there's this like mixing section here. It's got the deep wells. Let's see if I can get you There we go. Get a little better contrast. It's got the deep wells for you to be able to put you can put inks in there. And if you look, it actually, let's see if I can get it just a little bit. There we go. This middle section right here is actually, it's recessed a little bit. So if you wanted to, you could use that as like a mixing, like a mixing port. So you've got, there we go. Let's get this. So there you go. So you could put 2 different colors of paint in the paint wells, or 3, or I guess 4. And then you can basically bring the paint up out onto this middle platform and use that as a place to blend it and mix it, to go ahead and blend and mix between those 2, 3, 4 colors or whatever. And then the middle part is a good spot. It's another recessed spot if you wanted to mix things here, wet blend it together, that kind of thing. And what I think is cool is this is definitely going to go in my to-go kit because A, it's super flexible, but also it's going to go in my to-go kit because when I'm painting at a store or whatnot, I don't have my brush rack. So you end up cleaning a brush and then setting on a paper towel, cleaning a brush, setting on a paper towel. And sometimes what will end up happening is that you might set it down and it might bend or tilt that brush, and then it dries that way. And that's how you get a lot of like warped and misshapen brushes. With this, they went ahead and, they were trying to figure out how to make it work. Well, these lines are brush holders. They keep your brush off the ground, off of the table, off of any kind of contaminant you might have. It's made out of that silicone rubber, so it's, yeah, it can slide, but it's not very easily. But it's got room for 2 of those brushes, my little Games and Gears brushes. Thank you, Games and Gears, for sending me brushes. I need to get a hold of them and find out if there's anything that they have that they want me to show off for you guys. This is one of their Masters hybrid brush. It's got a brush on both ends. Not that this is anything to do with Turbo Dork, but it's got a brush on both ends, and they are particularly good if you want to be wet blending, because you can basically paint with one side and then have like a bowl of water or something to grab on the other, and then just flip it around and pull your paints and pull your water through. Or if you're just doing like an ink or something like that, you basically can keep your brushes going, and like literally like they're great brushes. It is the Games and Gears Masters hybrid brush, which if you buy anything from them, tell them I sent you. I know their owner really well, and you know what? I don't know why they're not a sponsor of the show. Never thought of that. I might need to contact them. But I have to let you know, not a sponsor. They sent me some stuff, but they aren't actually sponsoring. But yeah, so I have some paint here. I'm gonna give my paint a shake, and kind of show you. So what I was talking about, I'm going to go ahead and put some in this. Put some in 2 different paint wells. Not necessarily because, I need to, but just to show you what I was talking about. So they're definitely deep welled. There's a lot of room to mix around, but I can push it up into this little middle section, bring up some from another side, and then kind of mix it together here. And the whole surface, this whole thing, if you've noticed, it's already starting to kind of like separate here. It's because this is a silicone rubber, which means your acrylic paints aren't going to stick to it. So you don't get it, unlike when you're painting on some other porous surfaces. You don't have to worry about it like soaking up into your palette or drying out and losing pigmentine. It's again, very flexible. It's not hard. These are just really cool. This is really one. This is the full size one. This is the full size in white. But what I have here, I'm going to show you. they also sent me the other color and the other size. So there's also black and just a four wing inkwell. So if you didn't need the brush holders and you didn't need to have a big set, you could just buy a whole bunch of these and basically just kind of hang out. Like you could have like different mixing palette setups. Now, I mentioned the whole silicone rubber thing. I mentioned how cool they are. They're, again, still flexible. But one of the things that, I don't know if you've ever used some paint palettes, eventually they get to be kind of gnarly and are really hard to clean up. Or when you clean them up, they break and they flake, and you end up getting those flakes over everything. Or like maybe you might miss one particular little piece and it ends up in some of your paint. It's a thing. So with these, with the silicone, because silicone sticks to absolutely nothing, this is how absolutely easy it is to pull up paint. Now these are all dried. I applied these last night while I was doing some painting, and so literally all I have to do is push up on the bottom and see how that dried Turbo Dork green, I think it's the matcha green, it literally just came right off. Like it almost like it fell out. We'll do it here with the radium. All I have to do is push on the back just a little bit, and up she comes. Boop. Completely dry. Completely. There's no fragments. There's no staining. There's none of that. Excuse me. There's none of that there. But the reason, a lot of people are like, why black? Why white? So a white palette is going to be really, really good for any of your primary hues because it allows you to see what you're truly mixing. Especially if you use black or if you use white primer on your models, it will help you show how your mixes are, how thin they are, what, can I see straight through this paint pigment? White is a good base color. Now the black one, the reason why the black is cool is because for metallics, a lot of times you want to see how patchy, how thick, how much a darker tone is going to come through. And especially with the Turbo Dork colors, because a lot of them are designed with that color shift. They're designed to have multiple layers. They're designed to go over a particular color, especially if it's a dark color. Something like this is perfect because you can basically see the true nature of what that color is on a dark background. I know that goes also with just about anything else. So here's that first one. I'm gonna peel off the last of the paint on this and show you just how easy it is to clean these up and leave like nothing behind in the well. So even that big splattery blue that I had used came off in one chunk and a couple of little specks that now I just had to kind of uproot and blow off, and boom, back to square one, usable immediately if I wanted to. And of course, as a silicone rubber object, you could completely wash this. You could wash this in your sink. You could wash it over a paper towel like I just did. It's just awesome and flexible. These are so cool. So thank you so much for Turbo Dork to send these to me. Like, they send me the paints and things as well. But when I saw that these were going to be a possibility, I love my hard white plastic acrylic palette. This is easily going to supplant that. I don't think I'll need that hard plastic paint palette anymore because I'm going to have these. And honestly, if these work out as well as I know they're going to, I may very well order more when they get them in. Now, right now, the only place to get these is not through distribution. They are not through an outside retailer. Right now, the only place to get these is through Turbo Dork. So if you want some of these, and you should because they're awesome, what you do is follow the link in the description. That will follow you to the Tales from a Professional Nerd coupon code, and then you just follow the steps on their website to add these to your box, and we'll see if we can't get them sold out of those. That would be awesome. Force them to make more. And if there's, please, 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 if there are any notes that you can add that says, hey, Bryan showed me these, add that in there, because I like to make sure that my sponsors know that they are getting the verbal love that they deserve. So awesome. These are super freaking cool. I really have nothing more to say about them other than the fact that, for those of us that have been using hard plastic palettes for a long time, or just kind of wet sheets, you can still use your wet sheets. You can still wet blend out of these, but most importantly is the cleanup on them is so easy. You let it dry, you pop it out, and it's just done. I think we're going to see a lot more out of this than before. Now, I am hoping if everything just like steamrolls together, maybe it'd be pretty cool if Turbo Dork made like a bigger version, like an even larger one. But right now, these are absolutely useful, completely badass, and not problematic in any way. So very, very cool. I'm very, very happy with them. Turbo Dork has been a great sponsor for us at the show. They send me paints. When occasionally a paint gets kind of screwed up or like it's a bad mix, I send them a message and they hook me up. I've heard lots of customers say the same thing, that if you buy a bottle of Turbo Dork paint and it does that clotting grossness, send them a picture and go, my 3D glasses paint got funky, or my mocha paint came out of the box funky. And then they'll take care of you in some capacity. So they're a great sponsor. They've been with me pretty much since the beginning, and I hope that you will shop with them, see some of their cool stuff, get your fingers on some of these. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah. So today was really just set up for the unboxing. I know today's a short episode, but it is I really wanted to keep focus on this. I wanted to show people how cool these were, and make sure that a product like this didn't have to share the limelight with something else I was doing. I didn't want you to think this was just a tack on of, I want to tell you about all this cool gaming stuff, but and there's these. No, I wanted today's episode to be devoted to these, both the white and the black, which, by the way, the white and the black, they also come in the opposite size. All right, so I know we're having some technical difficulties. I was signing out anyway, because I wanted to get this show ended, but I want to wrap up before my camera feed gets all wonky again. So sorry about that. You know how it goes. Please, please, please stay safe. Get vaccinated. Get boosted. Leave every room a little happier than when you got there, and be a good Tales from a Professional Nerd subscriber. Share, like, subscribe, comment. Get part of this awesomeness, and get out there, play some games. We'll see you in a week. Bye, guys.